the instant I see you, I just start laughing. Like the instant you are like the essence of humor itself. Like you are always ready to bring that fun and creative spirit, and it sparks everyone that sees you. And it's like the best. And you've been my uncle for so long, and I hope you keep being my uncle for so long. This is the very best.
Thank you.
I love you.
I'm not going to give you the Joe Pesci.
Don't do it.
Funny like haha, funny like
Love you.
When I first came to Eugene, I looked up Andy to try to get the lay of the land, but Andy took me out on a pub crawl. But before that, we had daiquiris at his house. Which was upstairs from Jay's, right? And then we did a pub crawl, and the next morning, terrifically hungover, I had to go to the bank and talk about getting a loan. So I have yet to get even.
Tonight might be the night, baby.
Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you get the loan?
I did, yeah. And I love Andy to bits.
How long has it been? Right.
30 years.
30 years?
But I knew him back in Boston, not real well. We became closer friends too.
When I found out that my little brother was going to be moving out to some strange town out in the middle of God only knows where, I called my buddy and Andy, and because he might have, was that a place that he told me about? Oh, and I called Andy, and look out for David, my little brother. You introduced him in Boston with, he's walking out to that place where you are, wherever that is. Could you make sure he's okay, all right? And so he became much more than just an acquaintance and just a friend for David. He was an incredible friend. Thank you, Andy.
All right, drink up on that.
You're next.
Thinking.
I mean, they've covered a lot of
But I will say that he is truly one of the only living human beings that knows how to use a blender to further intoxicate and raise consciousness. Well, sort of.
Here, here. Nice, Joe. You have something to say?
I'm not much of a speech maker, but I love you, Andy. You're my brother.
From another mother.
Hey, Andy.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me crash on your couch when I was a young lad. Love you.
My pleasure.
Cheers.
I want to tell them that Andy and I used to watch basketball games together, and a lot of times we just did it on the phone. We weren't in the same house. So one time I called him and we're talking, and he goes, I hope you don't mind, you're on speakerphone. I got 8 people over here. And he goes, why don't you give her your comments on the game? And I'm like, I don't even know who these people are. I think I'm a jerk. So thanks, Andy, for not telling me I was on speakerphone.
It's like the commentator.
You know, I met your brother before I ever
Yes.
met you. I met him at the Macrobiotic House in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And before I met Stephen. And so that's kind of how I relate to you in a way, because I knew your brother. And
Back in those times,
yeah, long time ago.
I've been to that house. That's what Shizuka.
Oh,
was
really?
doing.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
she's a scary lady. But it's nice, we haven't been connected for a long time.
That's right.
Thank you for reconnecting with you.
Thank you. You're welcome. My pleasure.
So you are the king chemist. One is right. You are quite good with the blender. But you are also quite good at random events. Random events. As you're standing there or sitting there concentrating very hard on cards, and do I have the right moment? When suddenly there's a song about crimson bloods, or evil rats live on no stars, or whatever. So yes, you are quite good at that.
Yes.
So may you continue.
Here, here.
Thank you.
Well,
Water.
I remember that moment with the crimson bloods.
I remember some blender time.
Oh, blender times where you stood there with your blender and like, finish it off, Paula. And I'm like, hey, Andy, it's got lime peels in it. It's really yucky. And then you go back and do another one.
I love it. Do you have anything to say over here, Miss Suzanne?
Well, Andy has shown up at key moments in my life. And I met him, it's hard to believe, about 35 years ago. I met him in Arizona. He was very good friends with my ex-husband, Joe Coco. And Andy has been like a steady person in my life over many, many changes. And the last big change was when Daniel and I moved back from an ill-fated trip to Costa Rica. Well, we had moved to Costa Rica for two years, 2 years. And we were kind of down on our luck, to tell you the truth. That we had made some dumb decisions, and we were coming back. We moved to Ashland, and we were getting our lives back together. And Andy gave me Bluey, his old Volvo. And I drove that Volvo, which was like a sleek tank, as Andy would say. And that Volvo, I loved it so much until someone drove right in front of me up in Salem about 5 years ago, and I T-boned their car, and it was no more. But it was the gift that kept on giving, and I was able to just feel like I had support. You know, you were really there for us, and you supported us in that way. And he's also funny as hell, and he makes great, what was that vermouth we were making? That, I love bitters, we were making vermouth. And I brought my friend Leela up to him on a fluke. We did a road trip. Darlene was in the picture, but I didn't meet her on that trip. And we walked in, and he gave us an edible. And I hadn't done anything in 15 years. And I was lightly stoned. He offered me a certain amount. I took a third of what he offered me, and I was lightly stoned for the next 2 days. Well, I was really stoned, and then I was lightly stoned for the next 2 days. And there was a scene that we were in a store. We had gone all around this neighborhood eating at these incredible Vietnamese restaurants, and we were in some store, and my friend and I got the giggles, and we could not stop. And Andy just kept